Okay guys, Andre here. We're in Port Angeles. It's just a beautiful freaking day. It's wonderful. I just hit the water. I haven't put anything in. And this is the video that I'm putting together where I told you guys I was gonna show you like how we fish for flounder, actually on the water, hopefully catching some fish. And what I wanted to do was show you what I've got here, what I'm gonna rig. If you watched the previous videos, you'd know that we normally tie up a bunch of leaders, put it on a pool noodle and do all that. And I just wanted to show you, you can do this with off-the-shelf stuff. You don't have to tie anything. You don't have to do anything crazy. So I went to Swain's and I bought these pre-tied leaders. These are for eggs and for salmon fishing, but they're #2 hooks, 10-pound test. You can see they're all pre-snelled. So all I have to do is tie a loop on the end and put that on my rig. I also snagged these 3-inch Berkeley pink and glow gulps, and I'm gonna rig these up, get them on the gear. Again, so you guys can see that I'm not using anything fancy. I've got just a little spinning rod. This is a Penn 1000 size battle. I've got 10-pound mono with 15-pound braid behind this, and this is like a 4-foot, I don't know, like a 4'6" rod. So it's not very big. You don't need anything super heavy to do this. So I'm gonna tie these up. We'll rig up. I'm gonna put the camera on my chest and let's see if we can catch a fish. We got everything rigged up here, guys. Again, I got this stumpy little pole, 2-ounce banana weight. I just, I don't know until I get down what the current's like. About this much leader. It's not an exact science with this part. Make sure you're pinching your barbs, pinched barb, #2 hook, and that 3-inch Berkeley gulp, just rigged like that. 113 feet of water. We're gonna give it a shot here. You can see I got some spots marked along this, and there's the Coast Guard station stuff right there, just for reference. I mean, now we're here fishing. I got the motor the way that I want it. Technique, right? We're not doing big, massive, aggressive jigs. What we like to do here are little, you want to kind of grub that banana weight into the bottom. I'm gonna bring that banana weight a couple inches off the bottom, maybe 6 inches, kind of work it a little bit, and then I'll do a heavy lift every now and then, try to get it about a foot off the ground. But for the most part, I'm keeping that pretty much right on the bottom. Like I said, little action to just kind of keep things moving so you can feel if something's got a hold. But I'm not doing real big, I'm not doing constant or consistent real big jigging motion. I just want that nice, easy. These things don't like to come up off the bottom very often. Because I was telling somebody, they're kind of like the rabbits of the sea. They're some of the more abundant species, and everything eats them. Bigger halibut, lingcod, love them. Probably sharks. I've seen seals, sea lions chewing on flounder. So they're a pretty good food source for everybody, which means that they like to stay in hiding. There we go. Yeah, it ain't much to talk about, but there's a fish on there. I think it might be a sculpin. Yeah, there ain't a whole lot to talk about with this fish. Yep, sculpin. I think this one right here is a buffalo sculpin. I don't know my sculpin very well, but I think this one's a buffalo sculpin. So these guys, they don't really have any teeth to speak of. They're not really gonna mess you up. Might have to dig out my pliers to get this out of them. Nope, got it, but he put that hook in my finger. stumpy little buffalo. I think it's a buffalo sculpin. Somebody will correct me if they know. When they get a little bit bigger, they actually make excellent fish tacos. There's not a very big fillet on them, but you fillet each side and they're a great fish taco. And one of the things I love about running these gulps is I can catch a dozen, 15, 20 fish before I have to rebait. When I first started flounder fishing, I was using chunked herring, and I found that I was just burning through tons of bait, and I didn't need to. There was no reason for me to use a bunch of herring. I mean, if we're being honest with each other, I think the herring fishes a little bit better. You know, that natural scent, you know, it's what everything eats in the ocean. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it's just it costs too much. Costs a lot to run herring. Anybody that's fished knows we burn a lot in bait. I gotta find a... There we go. This one's a little heavier than the last one, but it's not a toad. Yeah, I think it's another sculpin. He's not really pulling. It's kind of some dead weight. But definitely a little porkier than the last one. Oh, he's foul hooked. He's foul hooked. So, this is the other kind of sculpin that we commonly catch. I don't know what these guys are called. Again, you can just grab them right in the mouth. These guys have way bigger mouths, you can see. Way bigger mouths than the buffalo sculpin. A lot of times when I catch these guys, I can look down in their mouth and I can see shrimp. But you don't really catch flounder unless you're on the bottom. Possible, yes. There we go. That one's got a... it's a little bigger. I thought it had some of the shakes. Thought I could maybe feel it being a flounder, but... It's not really fighting. Man, maybe it's just a sculpin day today. Watch it be something weird that I've never caught before. That would be cool. Yeah, just a bigger sculpin. See, like this guy right here. Oh, I know, dude, I know. See, they got a pretty good sized mouth, right? That guy, that's actually, dang it, I should have brought a scale. That there is every bit of 2.5 pounds. That's a fat sculpin. That's a big daddy. That's cool. I mean, you see sculpin have a huge mouth. Well, this kind. The buffalo sculpin's not so much, but this right here, this fish might have won money in 2025. Yeah, he had a little day. I mean, I'll see here, the current moves pretty good. I'm gonna try to hold still so that you guys can see how fast. Oh. Oh, no, he let go. Well, I didn't hook him good enough. Dang it. Yeah, as I was saying, so you guys can see kind of how fast we're drifting. So that's the pilots, that's the gate right there. That's where the launch is. We started up there, just in front of the hangars. Dang it, I'm mad about that fish. He felt kind of heavy. Ah. Another sculpin. Another good-sized sculpin. I mean, not a baby one anyhow. Yeah. Not nearly as big as that last one, but not a small fish. I mean, this right here is typical of if I'm fishing all day, these are the ones that I'm just going to catch a bunch of. Kind of just get him to open his mouth. Get in there. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to hold it up for reference. That other guy was significantly girthier. Only a little bit longer, but these things really bulk up the next couple inches. Huh. There's fish here. This one's pretty small. It ain't anything special. I can't even really feel any shakes on it. Not as small as that little buffalo, the first thing that we caught, but it's not a big fish. Maybe it's about the same size as that first one. I know, dude. There you go. Another little stumpy. They get these different weird colors on them. I guess it's camo. They look like rocks. Look, this is beautiful. I'm fishing straight up and down. 2 ounces of lead. 15-pound braid. It's super helpful. You know, I'm not going to tell you, hey, every once in a while, you're going to catch a 20, 25-pound halibut doing this. I haven't brought in the end on this rod, but on this rod right here, this has got 20-pound braid mainline. This is what I normally fish with right here. I prefer a bait caster, but more people have spinning reels, so I kind of wanted to showcase like doing it like that. But this rod right here, 5'6" lammy, 20-pound braid for the mainline, and I've caught the biggest halibut that this has brought in is 43 pounds. But last year, fishing right about where I'm fishing, I've got a handful of these. I've got a handful of this exact setup right here, and they've killed almost a dozen halibut between 20 and 30 pounds. So, you know, you don't have to have massive gear. Okay, that's a flounder. That's a flounder, finally. Not a massive one. Anyway, my point is you don't have to have massive gear. Obviously, if I hooked a 70, 80, 90-pound halibut on that rig, probably the chances of doing anything are pretty slim. But we don't catch very many of those. So the 15, 20-pound mainline, you can catch a pretty dang big fish on 20-pound mainline. So I can feel this guy's a flounder. Just, he's swimming different, more active, pulling, the way that he hit. So, and I like to just grab these guys right behind the head, like so. And you can see, look how big that grub is compared to his mouth. See, the pretty small mouth. Like, you're gonna have, and we'll catch these this size all day. You're gonna have a hard time catching him on anything much bigger than this. Sometimes I'll run a 4-inch Berkeley. I'm usually running 2-inch Berkeleys. They don't sell the 2-inchers at Swain's, so I'm not running those right now because, like I said, I wanted to show you what you can get just right here in town. But you can buy the 2-inchers at Sportsman's in Squim. So anyway, finally got a flounder on the board. And it happened. I moved out a little deeper into the flats, just finding the fish, you know. And a lot of the bites that you'll feel with a tug and a miss, they're flounder. Like, they'll grab your tail. They'll grab the tail off your gulp. You'll go through them. Sometimes you'll go through these little spells where they'll be short biting everything and ripping your tails off, and it sucks, but you know, those are usually small ones anyway. But they are a fairly durable bait. And it doesn't have to be gulps. You can catch them on regular unscented twirly tails. I've heard of guys putting all kinds of things down there, you know. So don't be afraid to experiment. But again, I'm just showing you what I do because it's simple and it works. I know some people tie droppers where they'll put lead on the bottom and then they'll have like 2 flies or 2 grubs up high. I'm not saying that's a bad technique. There we go. There we go, another flounder. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see those head shakes, but that's how I can tell it's a flounder. He kind of gave up a little early. And they'll kind of circle and spin. The sculpins kind of just come straight up. See, and out there, he's fighting again. He's kind of pulling a little more. Not a toad. Another respectable little. I mean, this certainly isn't anything that I would keep. Again, look at how small that mouth is. And you know, you can say bigger bait, bigger fish. I'm not going to dispute that at all, but these fish eat these smaller size baits all the time. That's what they're used to. So keeping something that's naturally sized for them, I think, is important. And you'll still catch 4 or 5, you know, 3, 4, 5 pounders. If we stay at it, we'll get one. Yeah, I'm into another fish here. I thought it was a little heavier, but he kind of gave up on me. He gave up on me. I was thinking it was something with a little more pork, but I don't think that's how it's going to be. You know, sometimes you just have to cycle fish. You just have to cycle through fish to get the one that you want, or to get anything with size. I forgot my dang little pliers. Hey, 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 hey. I know. I know. I've got some pliers, but they're just a little too... Thankfully, they're fairly durable fish. They're not like trout. There we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, got it out. See, look, my gulp's getting hammered a bit. I'm just gonna, out of principle, keep using that to show you how many dang fish you can catch on one. But man, that guy came up and hammered it. I was a little bit off the bottom. On the top of my jig, and he swam up and just crushed it. And I think I said it earlier, but if I didn't, make sure you're pinching your barbs, guys. Am I even recording? I am recording. Oh, there's our fish. Flounder, baby. Oh, he's leaning into it a bit. They kind of lock up and can make themselves kind of stay flat, so you got to pull pretty hard. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this size you can. There's just not a lot of meat. They're just thin. But when you fillet these things out, they're excellent too. The little bigger ones. We're recording. This one's a little heavier. It's not a massive fish, but it's definitely a little heavier. Oh, just an angry fish. Okay. So this is actually really good. I want to show you guys something. So this guy swallowed that. I mean, I don't know if I can get that open. I saw a peak, and that's down his throat. And so here's the reason that I tie so many leaders. This guy, I'm not gonna kill him to get that out. I'm just gonna put another one on. That's why I tie up a ton of leaders. More than snagging, more than teeth tearing it up or anything, I tie up a ton of leaders, because when I get a fish that's like that, I don't want to fight and spend a bunch of time trying to get that out of his mouth. I just cut it and chuck him back, and then I'll rig another one up. So that was great, actually, that I got to show you that, because the hooks will dissolve. They'll digest these little rubber gulp things. They're a biodegradable thing, I think. So anyway, that's what we do when they swallow that. Started off heavy. Slightly foul hooked. Not a bad little floundy. Guys, I'm just gonna close this out. Running out of a little bit of battery here. What I've been fishing for an hour, caught 8 fish or something like that, 10 fish, 6 of them on camera or whatever, all counted up. But I just I wanted to close this out. Oh. Anyway, guys, what I've been saying is we've been fishing for about an hour, maybe not quite an hour. Drifted half the length of the spit and caught quite a few fish, a handful of sculpin, a handful of flounder, different depths. We went from 40 to 115 feet, something like that. Anyways, we catch fish. This is how we do it. We snag up sometimes. This is how we do it. I'm snagged. I'll just let that and take care of it in a second. But that's flounder fishing, guys. It's easy, it's simple, and hopefully we see you out at the tournament. Just reach out if you have any questions or you want to see something a little different. Thanks. Keep charging.